Hi everyone, it's Kat. Today I'm going to be showing you a easy New Year's Eve makeup look. You can even recreate this with your own products if you don't have the products that I'll be using today. I am going to do a voiceover, so I'm going to film this with, silently. Usually I can make the videos faster that way instead of trying to talk while I put on my makeup. So I will be starting with my primer, which I'll be using the Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. This is a hydrating primer, which is wonderful to use during the winter time when your skin is a little bit drier. Next, I'll be putting on my foundation, and I'll be using the Dior Skin Forever foundation in the shade number 24. Make sure you shake it well before you use it. I just add a couple of drops to my foundation brush, which I use a blurring brush. And then I pat that over my face to kind of spread the product around, and then I buff it onto my skin. Then I'll be setting my foundation with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and I'll be using my Becca Cosmetics Kabuki brush for that. Make sure you tap off the excess product so that you don't get too much onto your brush. Next I'm going to start my contouring. So I'm going to do my highlight with the Tarte Shape Tape in shade Fair Neutral. I'm sorry, my camera doesn't want to focus. And then I'll be, I just apply a couple of drops around my face and the areas I want to highlight. And then I use the IT Cosmetics Airbrush Blur and Concealer Brush number 103 to blend that in. Then for the darker shades for my contour, I'll be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. I use the darkest shade to highlight my, or not highlight, but to define my cheekbones. I know I'm getting ahead of the video, but bear with me. And then I use the medium shade just below that, and then the lighter shade around my hairline and on my nose. And for the brushes, I'm using just a plain old contour brush and a pencil brush for my nose. Next, I'm going to be applying my blush, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm using for my blush. I'm using the Sigma Beauty Aura Powder in the shade Nymphaea. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm going to re-go over with the translucent powder just to kind of set everything and to blend it. But again, back to the blush, I'll be using the Sigma Beauty Nymphaea Aura Powder, and I just use a regular old blush brush for that I got from Ulta. Then I'll go and do a shimmer highlighter. It's the Urban Decay Afterglow Highlighter in the shade Sin, and I apply that with just this fluffy brush. I don't even know what brand it is. I don't even know how it showed up in my collection. And then for an added boost of highlight on my cheekbones, I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster and the highlight shade, because it's New Year's Eve, so go big or go home. Next, I'll be doing my brows, and I use the Brow Food brow powder. It also comes with a liner, but I only use the powder. It's really easy. You just kind of fill in with the powder. Now on to the eyeshadow primer. I use an eyeshadow primer because I have oily eyelids. I use the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Shadow Primer. Now for the brushes I'll be using for the eyeshadow. For the crease, I'm going to be using the Morphe M433 brush. And I use a really light pressure. I start with the lightest shade first, then a medium shade, and then a dark shade for the crease. And you can use any shades you want. I'm using all shimmer shades. Just make sure you use a light pressure. And I have hooded eyes, so I bring the shadow up a little bit. For the lid, I'll be using the IT Cosmetics Airbrush Precision Shadow number 112. And I use a really light shimmery shade on the inner corner of my eye, and then for the outer corner of my eye, I'm just going back with the base lighter layer that I used for the crease. You don't have to do that, that's just the shade that I ended up choosing. For next, I'm going to be using a tapered brush to apply a little bit more of that lighter shimmer shade. I bring it around the inner corner and across the lower lash line just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my Naked Urban Decay palette because there's a shimmer shade in black, which the Morphe palette does not have, and I'm using the 35F palette from Morphe, and I just go back, I'm using shade Creep from the Urban Decay Naked palette, and I'm doing just like the black liner, and I'm bringing it on the outer corner lash line inward. Okay, next I'm going to take a blurring brush or a smudge stick, and I just smudge it on the lash line. Alright, last I'm going to be creating a cat eye with the Stylist Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. This stuff is amazing. It will not budge once you put it on. It's really the only eyeliner I have found that really stays put on my extremely oily eyelids. Next, I'm going to get a little bit ahead of the video. I'm going to apply a little bit of the Farsale Rose Gold Elixir to my lips. This is going to help keep my liquid lipstick from drying out, and will keep your lips moisturized. It also makes them look a little bit more supple. This stuff is amazing, you guys. And then I'll just be applying a Sephora brand cream lip stain. It's a liquid matte lip and a red shade. Lastly, I'll be setting my makeup with the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray, which is an oil control setting spray, which when I put makeup on, my skin gets oily, so that's why I use this, and that just helps keep it from getting too oily. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe, comment below with anything you'd like to see me do for a video next. Give this video a thumbs up, don't give it a thumbs down, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.